Okay, guys, I want to do a different kind of video. I was looking at someone was talking to me like, "Hey, what do you think about UOKA? Zach Morris is pumping the heck out of it," and that's kind of the first alarming thing I see. But we'll get to that later. I'm not really into that pump and dump scheme here, but here's what I see on the weekly candle here, and this is going to be pretty to a T here. When you see a weekly candle and you see the major trend is downtrend, um, I play these kind of plays where you try to do a trend reversal, you try to catch the bottom and all that. It's extremely hard, but the ways I do that is I like to buy it at this green band. It's not there in the weekly, but I will say if you look at the big trend of this, it's downtrend. And what do you see here? We see one, we get close to this EMA 10. That's going to be your big resistance, right? We hit this EMA 5, rejected bad. So we hit it many times. And so just like support and resistance, the more you hit it, the more you're about to break through. So we hit this EMA 5, down, 5, down, 5, down. And then we get to hit and then we hit this 10 and we go down here, right? So that's the first thing I see is no, this does not look good at all. This looks insanely bad. I mean, yes, we could break through this 10 and um, but you're trying to buy it at a big resistance zone, right? You know, let's say this here is a 72% gain here. We actually rejected the 10 and we dropped 30%, right? It's nuts here. So right here you can see right around here was this EMA 10 on the lower time frame and you reject, pretty bad right there. Unless that was, yeah. So that's what this is at. This EMA 10 is around 31 cents. We got close to, no, that was not that. So it looks like, oh, I see. Since it's a weekly, yeah, it was this area here. Yeah, around this area we had this big pump. So and then we've been having these down days here, and you can see also on a 15-minute when you get close to this ATR4, you go down. And so when you look at this, that's what this was. You had that big resistance near that EMA 10, and so you can expect it to go down. Do we use this EMA 5 as support? We'll see. But that's just the weekly here. If you look at the daily, you can use that as a smaller time frame. Yes, we are starting to get above this EMA 20 here. You can see right here, this was that big resistance that I mentioned in a higher time frame. So I like to look at the higher time frames. You see that 32 cents, you drop all the way back down. And where could you have entered for an entry if you wanted to look at a smaller time frame like the daily? Yeah, sure, you can bought here at the EMA 10 as that's your most lowest band and should be that trampoline effect. So you see right here, we touch the 10, bounce. Touch the 10, bounce, and you're kind of forming a higher low on the daily time frame. But yeah, weekly does not look good at all. I'm not really sure what people are trying to pump this to. And I mean, we started to get lots of volume right here. So it's got decent volume. It's in the sector of real estate and operations. So yeah, this is my analysis. Is yes, the daily looks actually pretty decent here. What you want to see here is you want to see this EMA 20 turn to the bottom, and that will be a for sure downtrend, uptrend. I mean, and what happens is when you get way above this EMA 20, what you look for is that retest to this lowest band. I use the EMA 5, 10, 20, and 50. This 50 is way up here. We won't worry about that with pennies. It doesn't hit often with pennies. But if you look at the higher time frame, just look at what's the general direction of this trend and where do we end up, where do we would like to resist, right? If you look at these areas here, you could always see, we are below the EMA 50, which means it's a for sure downtrend. And if you're stagnant here, you can see these are going to be your big resistance points. When you go way far down and the bands are like this, where it's very spread out, that means it's a really strong downtrend. And so when we hit this, you see this line here was this daily. If we hit this EMA 10, you better for sure think like, okay, we're probably going to resist there. It's never hit that before. All throughout here, it has never hit this EMA 10. And sure, if it breaks through that, we have a nice gain of about 70% to the EMA 20. But it's just a little risky in my opinion. How I would play this is on the daily. If you want to get in the trend early, yes, buy this on the lowest band here on the EMA 10, and if it breaks that, you would put about a 5%, 5 to 10% stop loss. Depends how risky, how big of a size you have. I would go definitely smaller size on these things. But Yeah, you see right here, you have pretty nice support here too, but that's way too far away. If price comes there, I mean, you're looking at a 40% decrease. I don't know too much about this fundamentally. We can look at the news real quick. I'm doing this real time raw data with you. Our trading higher after analysis ticker symbol. Nothing really to see. But yeah, that's my analysis. Look at the weekly candle for that big resistance on the EMA 10. Look at the daily candle. Whenever you see a big explosive move up from the EMA 20, look at these bottom EMAs. As you can see, when we switch like this, the EMA 5 and 10 have a crossover, and you see how the EMA 5 is trying to be the most top band, and then this EMA 20 is going to get a crossover from the 10, or 10 is going to cross over the 10, and that's how you can see like we're forming out like a nice little uptrend there on the daily. How I like to do the trend reversals, if this is not in a solid trend, what I like to do is I like to look for price as close as possible to this green band with time distance. And you can see right in here, we had this big massive drop. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 daily candles not touching the CMA 5. We know price is going to touch the CMA 5. Around 7 daily candles is extremely long. And the minute you touch this green band here to a T, that's when you had this big move up. And that's really where I tell my Discord members how we'd like to trade this. That's a 73% gain. You get in early, you cut the chase, and you go for it. Trading uptrends on penny stocks is extremely hard. I don't recommend it. And you can see if you get in early, guess what happens? We know price will touch all the EMAs, right? EMA 5, 10, and 20 will get touched. Well, from this bottom entry at this lower band here, where it touched it to a T, to this EMA 20 was 132% gain in literally a matter of a week's time. Instead of trying to touch this when people are pumping it and then they're going to dump it, this can change trends at any moment. We know the longer term is an uptrend. Where you should like to buy it is when it touches these green bands here. You can see on this candle here, you get very close, but this didn't have the time distance for me to like it. I wish I did see this thing way back here in November. Very nice little thing here. Big, massive move down, right? With some nice volume. This thing has it's had here. So yeah, some nice little volume all throughout here now. But yeah, this is what I'm looking for. This is my analysis on how to trade with the trend and trade against the trend. If you guys want to join the Discord, see my alerts, see my system, and learn how I do this in real time, feel free to click the link down below in YouTube comments below, and in the Discord, YouTube comments below, and in the description it'll say join the premium Discord for my alerts and system. It'll take you to this free chat landing page. If you want to become a member, all you have to do is hit day trade alerts, and you'll get access to the highest tier, which your name would be in gold, for swing trades and day trades for an all-time low cost of 12 bucks. You don't have to pay hundreds of dollars for a nice education. What this service is one, to give you signals on what trades I take, on trades that I think are high probability with entries and exits, and to give you the education of why I take the trade, which is most important. Because if you're down on a trade and you have no idea why you took the trade, you're going to be freaking out, and you might sell for a loss just for it to go up. For this analysis, UOKA, you would have known, okay, price is at the green band. We have some tightness from EMA 5 for a conservative target. We can hit that EMA 5. And just like this, you'll be like, okay, well, we're finally making an uptrend on the daily. Price is coming above the EMA 20. We just need this EMA 20 to be the very bottom. Where do we look for entries? Is at that lowest EMA after we do that, and that's how you get the early uptrend. And then you will see, oh, we clearly have resistance on this EMA 10. I should not be holding it at that area because the algos are going to kick in that. We've never touched this EMA 10. So and those are the analysis, you got to look at different time frames. You got to look like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to trade with the trend or trying to do a trend reversal, right? This obviously is in a longer term downtrend, but lower time frames will start forming an uptrend before the weekly. So it could take some time for the weekly. But I hope you guys do enjoy the Discord. I think you guys are going to learn a lot of knowledge. If you want to join, like I said, click the link down below in YouTube comments below. And if you hit service shop or service subscription, you can read about my 2 services. If you just want swing trading, it's only $6 a month. I'm like, if you can't afford that, with all the mass amount of knowledge you're going to get is insane. It took me years to develop it, and I'm still improving what I want to add. And over time, it's always improving because the market changes. That means your strategy has to change with what the market's giving you. And so this is one of the best strategies in my opinion. $6 for just swing trades. If you want both, it's $12. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys like this analysis. UOKA. I'll be watching this thing, and we'll see how it does. All right, guys, peace out and happy trading.